still bought, you said, was the same price as.
Yeah, because it's a game that just came out about like a week or two ago.
Oh, okay.
So it's relatively new, so the price hasn't dropped anywhere.
You wouldn't have it used, right?
Mic check 1 2 1 2. It's the Y2K Collector, and GameStop's Pro Week is only a few days away. Now, I'm not sure if GameStop typically does their Pro Week for 2 weeks in a row, but I'm assuming it's going to be a mix of different promotions, sales, things like that. And I wanted to talk real quick about the different ways that you might be able to maximize on that, and then also talk about how this Pro Week is going to look, because this might be the first Pro Week that we're seeing since their official launch of their retro stores. So it's going to be interesting to see what types of rules and what types of stipulations they put on their retro games during these promotional times. Now, typically during GameStop's Pro Week, they'll do a combination of promotions that include things like a buy two, get one. They'll often do maybe like a 4 under 10 for 20 or a 4 under 20 for 40. A lot of times, if you're already a pro member, you may get like individual discounts added to your account, whether it be, you know, an additional 25% trade-in credit on all video games, or an additional 35% trade-in credit on all consoles. Sometimes you'll get extra coupons if you spend over a certain amount. So there's just a number of different things that you can do, and a number of different ways that you can take advantage. What I would suggest folks start doing is one of a few things. If you have GameStops near you, and there's been that game, or you have those games that have just been sitting in your GameStop because either they're priced a little bit too high, no one wants to buy them, but you think you can pair them with other games to maximize like a buy two, get one, I would start kind of in your mind gathering the games together at your local GameStop or GameStops to kind of see, okay, once the sales do pop off, how am I going to take advantage of them, and what games am I going to be picking up? Also, if you are going through your collection and you're thinking about, maybe you have some consoles that you no longer want, and none of your local mom and pop shops are giving you any really good deals on the systems, meaning they're not paying you out at the level you want. Or maybe it's just a console that you've got, you've tried to sell yourself online, whether it be on eBay or Mercari, and it's just not selling for you. Now might be a good time to look at GameStop as a place for you to kind of sell those consoles, because during their Pro Week, they're typically offering more. So 25% can definitely be a huge bump. If you're selling a game that they're willing to pay you, say, $100 for, 25% is an additional $25. So definitely take advantage of that, for sure. So those would be some of the things that I would think, as we approach the promotional sale. I definitely recommend looking into those. Another thing that I would also recommend doing is definitely checking their website. I think a lot of times, we kind of discount the GameStop website because we're always a little bit afraid of what we're going to find, what we're going to get, the condition of the game. Just be wise in some of the things that you're trying to purchase online. Just because, when you buy disc-based games, obviously, a lot of times the disc-based games don't come with any of the manuals. Usually they don't come with the case. You just get the raw disc. I would definitely leverage the website for cartridge-based games, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Super Nintendo, Genesis, N64, things like that. I think that would probably be the better route to go for sure. And then even retro aside, now is also a great time to stock up on pre-owned Switch games, or some of those games that maybe you don't want to pay full price for. Definitely a good time to take advantage of that. Now, I want to talk about the retro aspect of GameStop's Pro Week, because in the past, when GameStop has done their pro week promotions, usually everything that's pre-owned qualifies under the buy two get one on all pre-owned games, and I've definitely taken advantage of that in the past. It's how I've been able to pick up some of the more pricier games in my collection. Believe it or not, all three of these games came from GameStop. I picked up Mega Man X2 during the spring buy two get one, and I paired this with Silent Hill, not Silent Hill, with Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, and another $100 game. I think it was Def Jam Fight for New York. And I wound up picking up 3 really pricey games that I never really would have thought I would have picked up at GameStop. And I happened to pick these 3 up from GameStop on their website at that. So all 3 games were honestly priced under market value, with the exception of maybe Def Jam Fight for New York because it was disc only. Metal Gear Solid was, I don't know if it was complete in box, but I know it definitely at least had the case and both discs. Although I think Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes has gone down in value since from the time that I purchased it. But I know Mega Man X2 for sure was definitely underpriced. This one came in, I think, at either $89.99 or $99.99, and Mega Man X2 is about a $120 game. So I got them for a little bit under market value. And when you add that, plus the fact that I was getting an additional, I think, 5 to 10% off for being a pro member, and then on top of that, I'm also getting the buy two get one, which basically takes 33% off all 3 games. I essentially wound up paying like $60 for Mega Man X2. So that was a great way for me to take advantage of that deal. Similar story with UN Squadron, although this one's a lot cheaper. This is a $25 game. House of the Dead was a $15 game. Both were purchased during the buy two get one. So I was really able to, like, this year and towards the end of the year, I think I'm gonna do like a full review of all the retro games that I've picked up from GameStop and kept in my collection. I'm not going to show you everything that I picked up from GameStop because there have been a bunch of games that I picked up from GameStop that were retro that I sold. But I'm just going to show you the games that I picked up from GameStop that were retro that I kept in my collection. That might be an end of year video that I do. But I say all that to say that it's going to be interesting to see what GameStop does with the retro games during this promotional deal, because I could honestly see GameStop excluding retro games from some of their promotions now that they're paying attention to it, because I don't know if they're going to be or feel as comfortable with letting pricey retro games go for free. I think GameStop is definitely okay with letting some PS4 games go for free during a buy two get one. I'm sure they're okay with PS3 games going, even 360. But I don't know if like GameStop is comfortable with letting copies of Mega Man X2, Def Jam Fight for New York, or any other really pricey rare games go for free. So a big part of me is thinking that during this pro week, either they're going to remove retro games from a lot of these promotions, or they're going to remove select retro games from some of their promotions. Either that, or during pro week, they're probably going to do a separate promotion just for retro games. And I could easily see them doing something like that. So maybe instead of like a buy two get one or 20 for 40, I could see GameStop doing something like 20 to 25% off all retro, right? Because I think that'll probably be an easier way for them to just track their retro game sales and also limit how much of a discount they're giving on some of these games. Because, I typically go after games like this, but you have people who during GameStop's buy two get one, they'll go up and buy up a bunch of Pokemon games. They'll buy up all the Pokemon Reds and Pokemon Sapphires and Pokemon this and Pokemon that, and they'll destroy their Pokemon inventory. And that's another example of, a set of games that I don't think GameStop is really wanting to lose revenue on. So a big part of me is a bit concerned with how the retro aspect of their promotions are going to go during this next round of during the next round of pro week sales. But we'll see how that all pans out. I would definitely say just keep your eyes peeled. They're starting to kind of talk about it more. I've gotten emails regarding pro week. I haven't really seen what the promotions are going to be yet. We'll probably find that out maybe Friday or Saturday is probably when they'll start letting us know what they're actually going to do. And then as soon as you find out what the deals are, that's really going to be the time to start game planning. One of the things that I've been doing just in preparation of Pro Week is I've actually been going to some of my local thrift stores, and I've been picking up these kind of like really cheap games. So these are like $1 and $2 games that I've picked up from my local like thrift store and stuff. And you're like, dude, Y2K, why would you pick up a copy of SingStar Rocks? Well, I'm not picking it up because I want to play SingStar Rocks. I'm picking it up because this is a very clean case, and I anticipate that even if I do pick up like PlayStation 2 games during the buy two get one promo, a lot of the cases that I've been picking up have not been in the best shape. So I pick a lot of these like $1 and $2 games up so that I can do case swaps. So this is a perfect game for me to do a case swap with. It's a standard PlayStation 2 case, and there's no like extra stickers on it or anything like that. So I'll easily be able to swap this out for a game that I actually want to keep. Same thing with this one, Hot Shots Golf. Not that these are bad games, but these are games that are really just being used for case swaps. And then I'll probably just either sell or trade these off to get them out of the rotation or get them out of the collection. Same thing with Family Game Night. This is a case that I actually really needed, so I picked this up for a case swap because I recently picked up a copy of Spider-Man Edge of Time, and that case was absolutely destroyed. So this will become the new home for Spider-Man Edge of Time. So that's something that I typically like to do whenever I know that I'm going to be picking up games that probably won't be in the best condition. I try to just get some really 50-cent, $1 games to be able to do some simple case swaps. Also, while I was out and about, I actually did pick up some music. I don't know how many of you still listen to CDs, but I'm still a CD guy. I still have a car that has a CD player in it. Picked up a little Boyz II Men. Yep, I'm definitely on the R&B train. Picked up a little Boyz II Men action. Picked up a little John Mayer. John Mayer is definitely like, this dude was a man when I was in college, dude. Like it was John Mayer all day. So definitely hit up some John Mayer. And then a little bit of Dave Matthews Band. Picked up some Dave Matthews. I really dig Dave Matthews Band as well. These are just like really good bands to listen to when you're cruising. You know, I've lived on the West Coast. I remember there'd be days where I would just be cruising up the PCH and just jamming out to a little Dave Matthews or John Mayer is always a classic. So I think I actually have this album. I downloaded this album, but they had it there for, I think, 25 cents. So I can't discount CDs, but sometimes I'll buy CDs to do jewel case swaps as well. It's just a cheap way for me to swap a jewel case on like a PlayStation 1 game that's been cracked. I'll go to my local store, I'll pick up a CD for like 25 cents. Usually it won't be a band that I actually want to listen to. It'll probably be something that I just don't like. And I'll do the case swap and either throw the disc away or, you know, do something with it. So definitely just kind of prepping for that. So yeah, I mean, just keep your eyes out for the promotions. Let me know what you're going to be doing to prepare for the Pro Week that's coming up. Let me know if you have any games that you're looking for, if you've got your eye on anything. One last bit of advice that I'll definitely drop out there too is that usually the promotions kick in on GameStop's website like in the middle of the night on the day of. So I anticipate that a lot of the promotions that are applicable to online purchases will probably kick in sometime between like midnight and like 4 or 5 a.m. And I would say probably somewhere around like 3 a.m. is when they'll kick in. And I have seen where people are attacking those things as soon as they hit the website. So if you have a game that you've been circling on GameStop's website, you may or may not want to stay up and just keep your eye on that game, because I've actually put games into my cart like at 12:30 in the morning, and then I'll fall asleep and wake up at 4 a.m. and the game is gone. It's happened to me with so many games that I wanted, and I've just been like frustrated. So many GameCube games that I missed out on: Mario Kart Double Dash, Thousand Year Door, some really good N64 games, some Sega Genesis games I've missed out on just from falling asleep and leaving them in my cart. So if you do plan on doing anything online, just keep that in mind, that as soon as the promotions kick on online, usually people are on there just tagging up games left and right. So let me know what you plan on doing to prepare for the Pro Week, and I'll catch you in the next video. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.